Yeah, so I don't know what this video is. I guess it's a physical disc versus Game Pass thing. So as you can essentially see Game Pass there, meaning you get this game if you have um, Game Pass. Um, and I also think you might get it if you have, yeah, something called like Game Pass Ultimate or whatever. But Game Pass, well, I'm not even sure. Um, like you might be able to have Xbox Live without Game Pass. I think you are able to. Yes, you are able to do it. You don't need to have Game Pass. But the thing is, so if you pay for Game Pass, you get this game for free. This game is new, right? It's a remake of Halo. Um, they also did a 360 version. I was playing the original Xbox version, but I remember it lagging. Like lagging is like, if you don't know what lag is, most people know, right? Um, but and then they said they were gonna remake it basically, the game. But I was really surprised they gave the game away on Game Pass. But the real thing about it is that when you get free games on Game Pass, they can take the game away. After some point, they can just take the game away, and then you have to basically the KR is money. The KR is basically money you have to buy the game for. So they can take the game away from Game Pass. So then you have to buy the game um, again, essentially. Even though you pay money for Game Pass, you do pay money for Game Pass, and essentially it's it's almost like Netflix. You pay for Netflix, and you actually get free games, right? It's not free, but you pay for it. But um, who knows how long they're gonna keep this game on Game Pass? I was surprised when I saw this on Game Pass because it's completely new. So, but I also knew that I wanted to get a physical version. So I did get a physical version. Um, so basically, so it's like, what's the real solution? Like, what are they thinking when they give it away on Game Pass? How long are they gonna keep it um, on Game Pass anyway? And like I was checking it out, right? Without the disc. Oh, I don't need to use the disc, right? So it's almost as though I have a digital version and a physical version, but the physical version, is always gonna basically, you're always gonna have access to it. Um, Somebody said that Game Pass, oh, they should have never had Game Pass because Game Pass is, and then they said, and then they basically said done, they should have done like, what did they say? I think they said they should have done like a Game Pass thing for 360 games or original Xbox games. I think that's what they said. But um, and I was surprised when I looked in the cover. There is actual is it like game help or something? Because I know, oh, Xbox support. So I know in some games there used to be game support. So if you were stuck on a game, You could call a number and ask for help. Games used to actually have that. People now don't know, like young people now, they don't really know about that, but games used to have that. I never used it, but I guess I could have. But it used to exist. Like you'd call a number and ask for help in a game, but they could have included the manual though. Um, but like here, it's all about the multiplayer and hell, that's what makes it. Um, like especially playing like in the same room, it's a really fun experience. When you have two TVs in the same room and you play this game, so it probably still has system link. It says cross-platform play. Yeah, so that means cross-platform is essentially you can play the Xbox version against the PC player or Xbox version against a PlayStation player. I think the PS5 Pro version is the best version, but um, like yeah, the gameplay of Halo is kind of fun. Um, it's kind of fun gameplay. So, but I think the idea is like they're probably gonna have um the game on Game Pass for who knows how long, but then you're probably gonna have to buy the game after some time. Like they're gonna have the game on Game Pass, but you're probably gonna have to buy it after some point. They're not gonna have it on Game Pass. Like, I know they did that with Master Chief Collection on Game Pass, and they still have it on Game Pass now. I think. Um, Still. Um, yeah, I wonder what those numbers are. Um, like, do you see those numbers? Like, I wonder what that is. Like, is that really game help or something? That must be interesting to be like a customer server. Like, there used to actually be that. I've seen that where people sit in an office and they get calls from people in the past and they ask for help in the game. They're like the game masters, I think you could call them. I don't know if they still have like game help or something like that. You probably don't even need it now because games now have gotten. They've made games a lot easier. Like the games now literally show you arrows in the games where you're supposed to go. In the past, they don't really do that. In like the original Halo 4, they don't really do that. But but at least I think I even paid less. So basically, um, for if you want to buy the game digitally, right, you have to pay $70. Uh, I might have paid less for this physically. I might have. Maybe I did. That's an interesting thing. Uh, like I probably could check. Uh, Maybe I didn't. Um, I actually did. Yeah, I actually did. Oh, so it was actually a little bit cheaper physically. Um, Not by a lot though. That's really interesting. Oh, it's actually marked game disc. So, but it's an interesting thing they gave. So they gave this game away on Game Pass. Um, I get. Well, they've already done Halo 2 remake. Are they gonna do Halo 3? Like Halo 3, I think they did some PC server. Like they brought it back on PC or something like that. I feel like they did. And the original Xbox 360 version of Halo 3 or some shit like that. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but the gameplay is pretty fun though. especially in multiplayer. So yeah, I actually did pay less money for the physical version than the digital version. So yeah, technically. And it has this weird Microsoft voice when you boot the game. In the menus, they have this weird Microsoft voice speech kind of thing. It's supposed to be like Alien or something like that. They still include this too. Um, I was never a person that looked through the manuals in games. I never like even when games um at some point games started to tell you more things in the games, but let's say in the original Xbox PS2 era, a lot of games you just jumped in the game. You just jumped in the game and the game didn't really tell you what buttons to press all the time. So you actually kind of had to look in the manuals back then, sort of maybe. But they still include inserts, but they get like games. Some games still come with manuals though, but most games don't. I think indie games might they still come with manuals, of course. Like indie, small, like really small studio, they come with manuals and. But I never really looked through the man. Like yeah, like sometimes, um, but I never looked through them to get hints in the like whatever. So to move this cover sheet for important. Yeah, move these numbers. Are they actually like game help numbers? I don't know if they are. But I think in modern games you don't even need game help because I think they're well, maybe some games are hard. I know Dark Souls is hard, but that's not even. It's not hard in a like I don't know. So, but yeah, yeah, the physical version is actually cheaper than the digital version. Isn't that interesting?